Salutations, utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Global here. Um, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, even the mothers who are in the fatherly role, um, who are having to be both the father and mother is what I'm trying to say, regardless of how people identify themselves with. And, you know, I know these are the days. Sorry, got the PSG soccer game on. Give me one sec. And for those out there who, you know, who, who are reminiscing over, parental figures, guardians, um, you know, there's nothing wrong with having emotions. I read a statistic the other day: almost half a billion people have committed suicide. 80% have been men. So please, for those males out there, for the men out there especially, um, do whatever you got to do to make sure your mentals are right. That's all you have in this life. At the end of the day, things come and go, people come and go, items come and go. All you got is this. This is the most important world. Hence why I call myself global, seeing things from all angles. A circle, a round object, there's no angle. Just seeing things from a universal perspective. Um, Man, I seen on Twitter X, Shams had posted about the trade was the first to break the news. Obviously, Cole Anthony, KCP, 5 unprotected first-round picks going in return for Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies. Crazy how people are making comparisons to Luka, like Anthony Davis doesn't exist. What a clown show that app is, man. Seriously, man. Like, I see, man. I see people on this app literally get numbers. This is why I don't really care anymore, man. For real, for real. I see people get numbers for alleging WNBA players are pregnant, like Paige Beckers or Rickea Jackson, when they miss time for whatever reason, one reason or another. I see players falsely labeling Kristaps Porzingis with an autoimmune disorder, life-threatening, and get big-time numbers. I watch people just the most lazy, dumbass takes getting numbers on there, and it just throws me off. Like, nobody mentioned one thing about the Big Three yesterday until a fight happens. It's like, damn, you can't show one highlight before you go right to the negativity? Like, clout chasing broads out here, man. It's just crazy to me. Like, they're disgusting, man. There's no shame on that app, for real. They just be out there just putting out anything, and it'd be crazy. It'd be rewarding them 500,000 view, million view, million and a half to be a pro bozo. It'd be wild. Like, I'm like, thank goodness I came up in the era before that, because I don't feel anything internally besides shock. Like, wow. And today, people's first impression is, how did Desmond Bane go for 5 unprotected first, but Luka was one? Bro, does Anthony Davis Anthony Davis needs to have an MVP season this year to shut this nonsense up. Do they not know the only thing that can stop Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis? Do they know how dangerous the Mavericks can be this year? Like, legitimate, immediately out the gate favorites to win the championship next year, potentially. That roster with Cooper Flag and everything. Like, are they not understanding like how crazy this is? So anyways, like, to keep making this analogy, and it's just crazy. But first and foremost, Jalen Wells, a second round pick, who's officially the highest second round pick all time of the Memphis Grizzlies, who've set the market now multiple times, paying second rounders. He has emerged so much for Memphis. I think it made Desmond expendable. I watched a unusual amount of Memphis Grizzly game, probably the most I ever did. And I've been watching the Grizzlies when they were in Vancouver. Not to make myself sound old, but old is just a state of mind. Don't let nobody fool you. You got 18-year-olds out here who are cooked. You know what I mean? It's a state of mind. But I watched Desmond Bane. I've been watching him a long time. And last year, one thing I noticed, I'm happy for Desmond. I'm going to get to the Magic, obviously, but I'm happy Desmond got up out of there, because there were times where bro was on 40 ball watch and he'll just stop getting the ball. Not to this, and this is no shade towards Taylor Jenkins. It's just, Desmond is a prolific talent, and you can just tell, once again, loudest mouths with the biggest platform, but don't even be watching the games, don't understand how amazing Desmond is as a player. Just talking about Holy Fleece and all this other nonsense, like, bro is dumb nice. Like, he's dumb nice. He's a sharp, one of the best shooters in the game, but not even just that. He makes great reads. TCU's all-time leading scorer, I believe. Horned Frogs. But anyway, I keep getting into the Magic side because I'm just I'm so excited for the Magic. But I'm watching the Grizzlies, and you see Jalen Wells, and then they got KCP. So that now KCP goes from starter that you depend on, because he's really a sharp spot up shooter. He's just a 3-and-D guy, and that's good for a team like the Grizzlies, who are young and need some veteran experience. He has won a ring. I don't know why people. That's the other thing. I don't know why people keep making this big deal out of the ring. As a person who's always been a fan of KCP since his Detroit days, I was one of those people who was like, "Yo, KCP's a riser. He in the playoffs, he elevates his game. He's one of those guys who elevates his game." But last year he was horrific. Everyone was puzzled by the signing from the Magic to get him. Again, I'll get back to them. I can't help that. Maybe should have just started with them. But clearly there's some kind of youth movement going on. With that being said, Ja and J Square are the priority. They're due for max contracts. And so Desmond, who's also highly paid, already got his extension. They just want, KCP only has 2 years left on his. The second apron is going to be a lot more friendly next year and reasonable on a lot of teams. So the Grizzlies are trying to get out. I mean, the Magic were trying to get out of that contract from KCP, which was just a cavity. Him as a backup is a lot more. I think is a lot more suited for him, especially at this stage in his career. Zach Edey's going to miss the first couple months of the year with an injury, so it makes sense that they're just like, look, let's just embrace our destiny. We got Marvin Bagley likely starting for us. J Square is going to be there. They're going to have to face reality as far as they're always hit with the injury bug. Their coach had to go last year after the dust up between Aldama and Desmond Bane. They're like, you know what? It's a chemistry issue. Bane doesn't necessarily want to play the style they want. There seems to be also initiation of international ball. But ultimately, if I'm John Morant, I would be trying to force my way out. Desmond Bane is not a common piece you can just lose. I do like Jalen Wells a lot, but Desmond Bane has moved himself up into top 5 category in terms of shooting guards. He's there. He's up there with Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine. Like, he's in that category of real 2 guards. And so I don't think the Grizzlies needed to do anything. I think they were ready to make a push for a championship, and they should have just stalled it and waited it out until they could win a ring. I don't know why they're so impatient. Taylor Jenkins didn't deserve to be fired. This team is fine as they are constructed. I just think they needed more time together, like how the Cavs have continued through the years surrounding that core nucleus: Mobley, Garland, Mitchell, and Jared Allen. That's the core. And you just keep waiting until something good happens. Everything doesn't require a trade. For the Magic now, let's get right to it. The Magic, they needed something. They needed a bucket getter, and KCP's more of a stand in the corner spot shooter, and that's just not enough for your guy in Paul and your franchise leader PB5 Pablo Banchero and Franz Wagner, who's also emerging as a real household talent. When he's on, he's destructive. And so those 2 guys are great, but you need a quick perimeter scorer, a guy who's familiar scoring on 3 levels in that backcourt. Jalen Suggs, I think, definitely could have changed the trajectory and outcome of what the Magic looked like in the playoffs last year. He was the key cog that was not available. Interesting, Suggs is dating Haley Van Lith from TCU, and Desmond Bane attended TCU. He's a TCU legend, so it's interesting. I don't know what that connection is, if there's any, but obviously the TCU family is in Orlando now with the Magic, and so they needed a bucket getter. And Cole Anthony is not enough. KCP wasn't enough. Desmond is locked under contract. As you know, these small market teams have trouble getting long-term commitments. So that's great. A player of that magnitude and style, that's the thing people keep underestimating. It's not like Orlando can just pluck in free agency, even though it's tax-free state, uh, incorrigible roster construct, a decent coach, decent front office, even though that was a bonehead signing everyone could see from a mile away was not a good pickup. That's not what Pablo needs. But they ended up turning it into something else. Side note, I thought Jordan Poole, that was the only team that he could go to. I don't know if there's a spot for Jordan Poole in the league anymore, but that would have been the one ideal location. The only thing with Bane, he definitely displayed some true floor general attributes near the end of the year, but they have this habit of picking up combo guards. The league is shifting away from it. Ideally, I would have liked to see like a Lonzo Ball type of acquisition, someone a little bit more of a floor general to keep that offense under control. But it's still a good sign. It's still a good trade, regardless, when you can land someone who's top five at their position. For those people who really did watch Desmond Bane play last year, you'll realize like this guy's the truth. So that's exactly what the Magic needed. They did their uniform reconstruct, which is basically a spin-off from their early 90s when Penny and Shaq were there, the pinstripe. So now they pinstripe pimping with their new roster. If they don't do another thing this offseason, they're going to be just fine. And I expect a major leap from Orlando this year. This is a team I could easily see make it, to the conference finals. I mean, be honest with you, even NBA finals. This is one of the more underwhelming franchise in terms of history. It should be a lot more robust. It should have more depth, but unfortunately, they've had some very weird mojo. I remember when Aaron Gordon was there, and they had Super Mario and Evan Fournier and John and Alfred Payton, who just had a 20 assist game, multiple 20 assist game last year off the G League, going straight to the NBA. I think even had multiple triple doubles on multiple triple double performances on multiple different teams. He played for the Pelicans, and I forgot what was the other team. I want to say he was on the Magic last year. There was another team he played for. Did outstanding on both. This is why I tell people, when you're judging people's career, you gotta really put things in perspective, because like it's so hard to even log minutes on the court, and to see a guy like Alfred Payton, to put it like this. Speaking of the Grizzlies, just to put things in perspective, and now I'm just shooting the shit. I'm done talking about the trade, but Kenny Lofton Jr., formerly of the Grizzlies, just won MVP in China. He can't get 2 minutes on the court. He dominated in summer league. He dominated in preseason. He dominates overseas. He can't get minutes on the court, but we can watch Georgie Name. Let me just watch my mouth, man. I'm about to say some crazy shit. I'm about to really, you know what? But just respect people's career. It's not easy to make it in the league. So I think both sides ultimately won. The Memphis Grizzlies have way more priority in re-signing Jackson and Morant, Ja over there, and so they had to pick. And I think that was, shooting guards do grow on trees, but if you're Orlando, knowing how difficult it is, the landscape of finding players, especially when you have a talent like Pablo, you got to be in win now mode. I know he's young, but he's already in his prime. He's already playing like a prime player, an elite top 10 player in the NBA, and it's time for him to take it the next step. So therefore, this was an amazing acquisition. Now you have an elite power forward. You got an elite two guard. The Magic should take a leap. Coach Mosley has just entered a new discussion, barring any freak injuries. Of course, we never want to see that. Utopians, I hope this was informative. I'll try to do better next time. Global out.